Is this what coming home is supposed to feel like? I heard Danny ask himself that one morning. He was standing at the kitchen window before dawn, looking out at the cul-de-sac, and he thought nobody else was awake. His coffee had gone cold in his hand. He hadn't touched it. He was just standing there, watching the streetlights, listening to the base helicopters pass overhead like they always do here in Killeen. Same sound every morning. To most of us, it's just background. To Danny, I think it meant something different every single day. I knew Danny Marsh for 11 years before he deployed. He was my neighbor across the street. Army, 3rd tour, 34 years old when he came back. He had this easy laugh, the kind that came from his chest, and hands that were always doing something, fixing a fence post, helping Tom next door with his gutters. He was that kind of man, the kind you didn't notice how much you needed until he was gone. He came home in February. We had a welcome banner on the mailbox. His wife, Bate, had the kids in matching shirts. His daughter, Lily, she was 7, gap-toothed, already running before his truck finished stopping. His son, Marcus, 9, trying hard to look calm the way boys do when they're actually about to burst. The first few weeks were quiet. Good quiet, I thought. Then I started noticing things. The blinds on his front windows were always down. He stopped coming outside when the school buses ran. One afternoon, a truck backfired 2 streets over, and I looked across and saw Danny crouched behind his own car in the driveway. He was up again in 3 seconds. Looked around to see if anyone saw. I pretended I hadn't. Bate told me once, just once, that he got up most nights around 3 and sat in the kitchen with the lights off. She'd find him there in the morning, still in the same chair. She didn't know what to say to him. She said she was afraid that anything she said might make it worse. I just sit with him sometimes, she told me. I bring him another cup. I don't say anything. That's its own kind of love, the kind that doesn't ask for anything back. In April, a woman named Dr. Sarah from a veterans outreach program in Fort Hood came to the neighborhood meeting at the rec center. She talked about a service dog program, paired dogs with veterans who were struggling to readjust. No cost to the veteran. She had a yellow lab with her named Rex. Rex was 3 years old, calm as still water, and when Danny walked in late and sat in the back row, Rex turned his head and looked right at him. Just looked. Danny looked back. I don't know what happened in that moment. I'm not sure Danny could explain it either. He took Rex home on a Thursday. By Saturday, the blinds on the front windows were open for the first time since February. Lily told me Rex slept on Danny's side of the bed. She said, "Dad talks to Rex in the night, Miss Carroll. I can hear him." She said it like it was the most normal thing in the world, because to her it was. Kids accept things at face value in a way we forget how to do. Marcus told me one afternoon that his dad had started coming to his baseball practices again. "He sits in the truck still," Marcus said, "but he's there." For 6 months, Danny and Rex were inseparable. Rex went everywhere. He went to the grocery store at 6 a.m. when it was empty. He sat in the waiting room at the VA. He was there when Danny had a hard afternoon and needed to walk the neighborhood twice, 3 times, until something in his chest settled. Then in October, a county notice arrived. Killeen had updated its municipal licensing requirements. All service animals required a registered county license. The fee was $240, renewals annually. Danny didn't say anything about it at first. He just went quiet again. Bate mentioned the notice to me over the fence one morning. She said he'd read it 3 times and then folded it up and put it in a drawer. "He's not going to ask anyone for help," she said. "I know," I said. Tom heard about it that same afternoon when Bate mentioned it to his wife. Tom was 61, retired Army himself, built like a man who'd spent 40 years hauling things. He called Mike at the VFW post. Mike called the church on 2nd Street. By Wednesday morning, someone had posted it on the neighborhood Facebook group and the Killeen Veteran Families page. I don't know who exactly started the collection. I don't think it matters. What I know is that on a Saturday in late October, Danny came outside to get the mail and found 43 people in his front yard. Folding chairs, somebody's coffee urn, a card on the steps with his name on it in Lily's handwriting. The card had 162 names inside and a money order for $480, 2 years paid, with enough left for a vet appointment. Danny stood on the porch steps and looked out at all of them. He didn't say anything for a long time. Tom stepped forward. "We weren't going to let them take your dog, Danny." Danny looked down at Rex, who was leaning warm against his leg. He said, "I don't know what to say." Tom said, "You don't have to say anything." And that was the end of it. People stayed for an hour. Someone brought collages from the bakery on Fort Hood Street. The kids chased each other around the yard. Rex moved through the crowd with his tail low and steady, doing his job, staying close. I watched Danny's face that morning. There was something in it I hadn't seen since before he deployed. Not happiness exactly, something quieter. Something that looked like the beginning of believing he was allowed to still be here. I think about that morning a lot, not the crowd or the money order. I think about what it costs a person to let other people see them struggling. Danny didn't ask for any of it. He would have found a way to lose Rex quietly rather than ask for help. That's what his training taught him. That's what a lot of them come home carrying, this weight of never needing anything from anyone. What the town did that morning wasn't just pay a fee. They told him he was worth showing up for. And I think Rex already knew that. He knew it from the very first night. If this story moved you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it today. Drop your own story or a tribute in the comments. We read everyone. Like this video and subscribe to Soul Relief Stories